having a good shot at that SRL record today.
Absolutely. So we've got the first one off. We got the second one off. We will sync up videos here. And GTAce, as expected, playing it safe like he said he would. Mars as well, they're going to go for the early power-up grabs. 1-1 and 1-2 is where they're going to collect their mushroom and fire in order to fully power up Mario. The fastest way to go through is generally to go 1-3 and 1-4, which saves you a little bit of time getting through the longer levels a little quicker as Small Mario. But there's a certain sense of difficulty with some pipe jumps in 1-2 and some flick jumps you have to do to avoid the Goombas here coming up, as you'll see. Both guys getting through beautifully, clean up and through. So we're going to come into 1-2 underground. We're just learning the game right now. Learning the jumps, the power-ups, the enemies. The game kind of brings you along. You'll see the difficulty ramp up as we get into the later worlds.
Yeah, and as you were saying, you're going to see the use of fire in 1-2 making it a lot easier without having to do those pipe jumps and such as we get our videos synced up here. And there we are synced up, seeing Mars just barely trailing behind, maybe by about a half a second. Plenty of race left to go, obviously. But that's what you like to see, some pretty close sync up right here in the early stages.
All right, 247 and 245 on the timers. Mars looks like, not sure if he intentionally had to avoid the 6 or if it was just how he went through. How the game works is if there's a 6 or a 3-1 left on the timer, you will get fireworks corresponding to that number, 1, 3, and 6. 1 firework doesn't really lose you any time. 3 and 6 are the 2 that you want to avoid. As much as we love to see the fanfare that comes with it, we don't want fireworks.
Yeah, 4th of July, that was 10 days ago. Don't need any more fireworks, though. Definitely still some going off around where I live.
Oh, absolutely. I'm out in the woods. It happens.
All right, 1 for our first castle level of the game here. We should see some good fire bars from both of them. If you don't have to stop for the power-up, I think the fire bars are normally pretty good in the first section.
Hold right and go. So
hold right and go, and launch fireballs at the big green dude.
Absolutely. Beautiful time by both of them. You saw a couple of different Bowser patterns there. GTAce was able to navigate the forward Bowser, slide under and get the kill. Mars got a backwards Bowser, which he did have to pause and take a few shots on it, but as far as in-game time, not that much. A forward Bowser tends to be the preferred route because you can slide under and get to the X quicker, where you have to do a full stop on a backwards Bowser.
Yeah, absolutely. Both these runners doing a good job making their way through 2-1. Again, no small fire strats, obviously, so you're not going to see any... Hopefully, you're not going to see any power-up pickups for either of these runners for the rest of the race.
All right, absolutely. Beautiful time on there coming through. We're now into 2-2, the first of our 2 full swim levels. We're going to head underground and underwater. Fire does work underwater. That's just how it is in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, I was just going to say Mushroom Kingdom and Bikini Bottom apparently in the same universe with that.
I think we can now confirm that. That is a good conspiracy theory. I love it. So you're going to be seeing some cheats and some bloopers coming through. The bloopers run on a couple of different patterns that you get. Cheats, the red ones tend to be faster than the green ones. With the pattern that you get them in tends to randomize if you don't know exactly where you're at, and it can cause problems, as you see Mars having to get over a few of them.
See, a 316 for both players on the pipe, so that's what you like to see.
All right.
Looks like Mars maybe just about a frame rule or 2 behind GTAce.
You know what? Credit to Mars keeping pace with the number 2 player in the world. This is a very tough moment. He is one of the younger runners in our tournament, so this is definitely a test for him in the second chance bracket. All right, on to World 2-3 now. The Cheeps are not done with you. They want to come after you. So they're going to take flight and get to you. With fire, you can go ahead. As you see Mars doing, launching some early fire. He did have to slow down there to a bad pattern. GTAce, meanwhile, gets a good pattern and up and through. 240 on the timer. Mars not optimal. He's going to lose a little time.
A little bit of time, just maybe a frame rule or 2, but you definitely won't want to see a player taking a safe slow down there to keep their fire.
All right, on to 2-4, our second castle. Again, very straightforward. The first really hard jump of the game with fire here, the elevator jump. Beautiful duck jump by both of them. They're going to get up and head. Mars and Ace both get through. Again, though, Mars loses 1 second on the in-game timer. just a little bit slower. So we'll see if these start adding up as they turn into lost frame rules.
Yeah, that's definitely something that, you know, if both runners seem to be playing the same, but one runner ends up finishing a few levels just a little bit slower than its other counterpart, that can really start to add up over the course of 32 levels.
Absolutely. So again, 3-1. As I said, we are starting to get a little more difficult. We're going to see our first introduction to Hammer Bros. Mars was really the first slip up in the race there, not getting the optimal stairs, got, as we call, stair bossed a little bit, and he had to take a slow jump to avoid the 3 on the timer. So Ace is now starting to open up a pretty decent lead.
Yeah, nice little lead here for Ace, maybe by about 5 or 6 seconds. Anything could change at any moment, though. This is still a very tight race.
Absolutely. So 3-2, you're going to see the tough jump there in between the blocks. You have to duck jump as Large Mario, or else you're going to take a bonk and go down the hole, which is obviously unoptimal. So again, though, Ace flying through 3-2, gets the good time, as does Mars. So to a certain point, Mars just has to keep pace and hope for a slip up at this point if Ace can provide the opening for him to get back into it. On to 3-3. Mars with a little swag there through the platform as Ace is also flying through, and it looks like they're both going to be heading on to the next castle at a good time. Beautiful snipes by Mars.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay there at the flagpole. I didn't see if GTAce was going for a flagpole glitch or something like that, but I noticed he did bonk on that bottom flagpole block and lose one in-game second. So maybe give it a little bit of chance for Mars to catch back up.
All right, well, Ace on the spreadsheet right now, so he knows where these Potaboos are going to be going, and he's going to get through. Mars, on the other hand, does have to wait up. He's unsure of the pattern he's going to get, so that's going to be a sizable advantage. Esmo, if you want to explain the spreadsheet to our
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I didn't even think about that when I was saying that Ace delayed at the flagpole there. He was actually losing a frame rule on purpose, seeing that the next slowest frame rule for 3-4 was going to present an easier pattern to get through at an optimal speed. So that is definitely why he did that. It was a setup for 3-4. The spreadsheet it basically maps out every possible frame rule within a certain limit to show you what patterns you're going to get in certain trouble levels, especially those levels with Potaboos, fireballs, bullet bills, stuff like that. So Ace was just setting up for an easier 3-4 there.
All right, so both players get through 4-1, the easiest level. Mars gets the nice coin count. And
nice.
We're going to be going on to 4-2, the most infamous level in Super Mario Brothers. We're not going to see why it's infamous. There's going to be no wrong warp here today in 4-2. Instead, top or bottom. Ace is going bottom. He is
bottom for Ace. I love the guts, the tenacity here. And the same for Mars, too.
I've given up trying to predict which way these guys will go. It's, you know...
I've seen people that do bottom route typically go top route, and vice versa. You never can predict it. Who knows?
All right, beautiful time, 3:44 on the timer. Mars not too far behind, so both runners are just running absolutely exceptional to where they're at as far as their PBs, their good runs.
And here we are in 4-3, my personal favorite level. I really wish we had seen more levels that look like this one. There is a trick at the end. If you hold right and B for the whole level, and then jump off that last platform at a certain spot, you can get what's called sky boots, and it does look like Ace got it. You can't really tell in a restream. It looks like Ace maybe got it.
Unfortunately, I'm not the right person to look for that, but the sound glitch was absolutely beautiful.
Hey, the sound glitch worked.
Nothing like a little swag in the run. I honestly say you run 10 times faster if you get your swag in.
Of course, yeah. Will we see no clip from GTAce? I kind of expected that, and no attempt from Mars either. That's pretty smart.
4-4 is the first of our maze levels. You'll see these runners run in a specific pattern that they have to go through in order to advance to Bowser, otherwise the level loops endlessly. And both runners navigating it perfectly, but again, Mars, 1 in-game second off, so that's where kind of you're going to see the time loss build up over time. Now that we're done with the first half of the game, Esmo, we are into World 5.
Cool, buddy.
World 5-1 tends to be the nice breather before we get into legendary levels 5-2 and 5-3.
Yeah, 5-1, mostly on the ground, just going to be some enemies, much like 3-1, 3-2, I guess rather. Mostly you're going to be staying low to the ground, just jumping over enemies. But yeah, 5-2, 5-3, it definitely picks up quite a bit.
All right, here we go. No bullet for Ace. He's going to go nice and through quick, blast the bro in the face, and a couple others. Same thing for Mars, no bullet. So very fortunate for these guys on the first two. We'll see if 5-3 can yield similar results.
Very lucky. Yeah, I'm assuming with Ace, knowing that Ace is playing on the spreadsheet, I'm assuming that he could tell what was coming up and that he wasn't going to get that unlucky bullet bill at the beginning of 5-2.
All right, beautiful job from both of them on 5-2 here.
Yeah, great job.
Very easy to stair boss at the end of 5-2. So Mars navigating that was awesome. 5-3, we get the bullet bills, and like you said, Ace is on the spreadsheet, so he kind of knows where these bills are going to be the pattern to take. Mars is kind of running a little wild and free. He can get a troll bill at any point in this level.
He could, so keep your eyes on Mars as Ace finishes. And it looks like Mars gets a pretty good pattern there from all the bills. No real trouble there. He did lose one in-game second. He may have had a dodge or something on one of those that I missed looking at Ace's screen, but still a very good time to finish 5-3 with.
All right, GTA's pulling off the world-famous Roy L. Goodbar strat, as does Mars. If you wait till 292 on the timer underneath the power-up, you are just about guaranteed, and oh!
We see the stress pause there right as he was falling in the lava. He just missed a jump under the Podoboo there. And not going to pick up a power-up in 5-4. He's just going to run for it. We'll see if he goes small the rest of the way, too.
All right, well, Mars got the opening that he needed. He now opens up a very sizable lead in terms of where we are at in the game, with Ace having to grab power-ups if he has to or if he's going to run small, but Mars is now powered up and has this distinct advantage.
He does indeed. Unfortunately, we can't switch to his audio. It's marked as non-usable audio right here. So we'll just keep listening to Ace's audio, but yeah, there's definitely an advantage here for Mars. He's going to pull ahead with that.
All right, and Ace is going to repower up and take 6-1. 6-1 is a nice spot to repower up. Lakitu can be a bit problematic, but for the most part, you have the two power-ups. They're fairly easy to grab. The one thing you have to keep in mind is Lakitu likes to fire a Spiny as soon as you grab a power-up, so if you can position him perfectly, not a problem.
Yeah, and Mars, meanwhile, making quick work of 6-2. One of the most complicated stages in the game where you actually have to use fire to clear a path, but he does quite a good job there getting an optimal time. I'm sure we'll see something similar from GTAce here.
All right, so now the big challenge here is 6-3 is very straightforward, but Ace, who has been using the spreadsheet the entire time, probably doesn't have a death mapped out. How optimal do you need 6-4 to be in terms of the spreadsheet?
I don't know. I would assume you want it to be pretty optimal, obviously.
I mean, let me rephrase that. Terrible phrasing. How is his reaction time going to be in 6-4, no longer being on the spreadsheet, knowing where those are going to be?
Well, even if he's not on the spreadsheet in 6-4, I think just knowing Ace and his reaction time, I think he'll be able to react to it quite well. Meanwhile, we see Mars going through 6-4 right now, which Ace is about to be entering. You'll notice it's basically a remix of 1-4 with some more fire.
That was a beautiful Bowser kill on the part of Mars. Very good fast kill, 256 on the timer. He is moving on to World 7, and we are getting into the later stages of this race.
Yeah, it looks like Ace is just taking his time here, making sure he doesn't lose fire again. And is making pretty quick work of 6-4 with no problem. Good reactions there from him.
A little bit of lag frames there, thanks to the hammers that Bowser now possesses. Mars, in the meantime, just blows through 7-1. 7-1 is pretty straightforward. As long as your jumps are good, you can take some full jumps here off these cannons, kind of avoid everything, as you'll see Ace do. A lot of just nice, tight platforming. It's really one of my favorite levels to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as we entered 7-1 with Ace, Mars is entering 7-2, our second full water level. You're going to notice it's going to be about the same as 2-2 with quite a bit more bloopers.
A lot more bloopers, a lot more cheeps here to make your life as miserable as possible. A couple more choke points than we're used to. And then that beautiful whirlpool in those gaps that like to pull you down if you don't power your swim right through it.
Right, yeah. One thing to note about these bloopers, we kind of touched on it a little bit in 2-2. The bloopers actually can have 3 or 4 different AIs, as we see no bad blooper here at the end for Mars. The AIs are, the blooper can always go left, can always go right, can always go whichever way Mario is facing, or it can always home in on Mario. So if you see a bad blooper at the end of the level and you want it to get out of the way so you can get in the exit pipe, it's good to know that, so you can kind of observe it for a second, see what it's doing, and no bad blooper from either one of them at the end, so no need to even worry about that.
All right, 7-3 is a repeat of 2-3, except we're going to add a lot more cheeps, and the introduction of the Koopas, who are here just to ruin your day and get in the way of the optimal jump patterns. You see Mars making beautiful work of his fire. Some beautiful duck jumps. He's going to get up, and he's going to get a 239. 240 is going to be the optimal in-game timer for it, but still a fantastic 7-3 for Mars, as he's still holding on to his lead coming into 7-4.
He is, and I'm going into the end of the game, the last 4 or 5 levels in the game here. It'll be interesting to see if either one of these players kind of give in a little bit, and either GTAce making some sort of move that opens it up for Mars, or something that he can do to something Mars will do to open it back up for GTAce. It's this is going to be an awesome end to this race.
All right, forward Bowser there. Little hesitation on the fire kill for Mars, but he's through beautifully. 7-4 is the second of our 2 maze levels. As we explained in 4-4, you're going to have to go through a certain set path. You don't have the turnaround like you do in 4-4, but you have that difficult jump that you saw Ace duck through, and he's going to get up and through, looking for another quick kill. He's got to wait on Bowser. Mars, meanwhile, into 8-1, the longest level in the game. It's going to be interesting to note, Esmo, that there is no longer any checkpoints, and honestly, any power-up loss. Getting fire is going to be extremely difficult if you even try for it at all.
Yeah, there's only, until, let's see, I guess there's only 3 power-ups in all of World 8, none of which are in World 8-1. And like you said, no checkpoints, so if there are any unfortunate deaths here, they're going to have to play each one of these levels completely over from the start. 200 for Mars there, so that's definitely not giving an inch for Ace here to come back.
All right. Ace so far, though, manipulating the sniping beautifully. Let's see how this stairs goes. Beautiful stairs by Mars. Duck jumping up and under the Koopa to get through, and pretty much straightforward here. We'll see if we get the implication of the world-famous Xerox BBBB strats. Esmo, would you like to take a gander at the 4Bs?
Well, we're not actually going to see it right there, but it is, let's see. What is it? Bump or bonk, brush, bounce, and boing, I think. I never have really known which order those are in, but it's those 4 words. If you do that on some pipes towards the middle of the level here, it will always set up a good, knowable, predictable pattern there at the end on those end stairs. Neither one of those players doing that, though. Ace, with a strategy of his own there, still getting a 342 on the timer. Meanwhile, we got Mars fighting these Hammer Bros in 8-3, just blasting them out of the way with that firepower, which you really want to have in this level.
Absolutely. These Hammer Bros are problematic if you're running small. As anybody who's ever run any percent can tell you, this is definitely the gatekeeper level.
Yeah, this is quite a race for both these runners so far. Mars, obviously, on quite an incredible pace here. Going into 8-4, again, not even giving an inch for GTAce to get back into this one.
All right, so now it's going to come down to what he can pull off. And honestly, if Ace can pull off the faster 8-4, that's the chance for him to gain some time, depending on what we go through. So
chance for him to gain some time, but I do think it's going to take a major catastrophic event for Mars to lose this one at this point. He's going into the second to last room, the water room, with power-up, as we see GTAce actually lose his power-up.
All right, so beautiful duck in there. Ace is going to have to play this small the rest of the way out. Beautiful pipe jump on his part, though.
Beautiful swim for Mars. We see him in the last room. If he can make it past this right here, this is his race to win right here. And Mars with a 1920. My goodness, what a race time for Mars. Just 3 seconds off of PB2 that he just got earlier today. That is just quite a show from Mars02 right there. As we see GTAce exiting the swimming section. He's comfortable completing the rest of this game as Small Mario. And he challenges Bowser and doesn't get it. Oh my goodness.
All right, and actually from this point, it looks like official SRL time of 1925 for Mars. So we're going to see if we can get these guys in for interviews. As soon as they finish up, we're going to see Ace go through here, go for the wall jump, he gets it again.
Oh my goodness, and he gets cheap to the face, and that is actually... That is unfortunate.
To forfeit.
Wow. Yeah,
so,
hopefully
very unfortunate end there for Ace.
Hopefully we can get one or both of these runners in here for an interview. That is a tough way to see that race end for GTAce. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the bracket here. And this is the lower bracket, so that is going to be it for GTAce. Mars moving on to face the winner of Xerox Fiend and either Dash Retro or Mamoru. Man, what a tournament we have that's boiling down to just some awesome runners left over. And speaking of awesome runners, Mars with the 1920 GG on the race win, man.
Thanks. That tied my former PB from Friday.
Yeah, that's man, to race within 3 seconds of your PB and tie your former PB. That's really just something every racer would like to have, I'm sure.
Yeah, I bet so.
Yeah.
All right, so on your run, Mars, were you watching a restream? Did you kind of know what was going on with Ace, the pace that he was setting for you there for much of the race?
I wasn't watching the stream when I was doing the run.
So you had no idea if you had a lead, if you were behind, or anything? Let's see. And now we're joined by GTAce. Ace, I know some unfortunate things happened there. Any thoughts to share on that?
I thought I was good at this game, but I guess I was mistaken.
I wouldn't say that.
Great.
Yeah. I would say
the
anybody...
5-4 thing, my controller ate my input. That's what happened.
I was gonna think about like the elevator jumps.
I do the swipe. Like, I know Wes does it a lot. People usually link it to him. I do that there. So I did my duck jump, and it just, I don't know what happened. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
I pressed it, I heard the swipe, didn't happen. And then the rest of it was fine, too. Like, the beginning game was great, the ending game was great. It was just that one thing, and then I couldn't finish 8-4 because Bowser decided to kill me, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a bad hammer, you had a bad cheap on your second go through it. It was very unfortunate luck for you, but again, it was really a fantastic pace until through that. Even with the death, you were not far behind from Mars. He had to run his best game in order to get the chance to take the win.
Yeah, I'm so upset that it dropped my input there. That was literally the only thing.
Yeah, just
everything else I was so happy for. Everything else went so well. I don't know why that just one thing just had to happen.
It really did, and I kind of could tell at that point in 5-4. I was like, that doesn't seem like a jump that GTAce would miss. That's probably just a missed input or an eaten input or something. So unfortunate that had to happen to you during a race.
All right, so looking ahead, going through on the brackets, this was the second chance bracket. Unfortunately, Ace, for you, your tournament comes to an end this year. Mars, you are going to be moving on. You got a little time to wait. We got to get through Dash Retro and Mamaru339, who just beat Lul XD, aka Alden Speedruns today. For anybody unaware, with a 1942 to a 2356. The winner of that has to go on to Xerox Fiend, and then the winner of that match goes on to face Mars. Mars, what do you think about these runners coming up for you in the bracket?
I don't know. They're all really good runners, and I think I would find each of those three runners a challenge. I mean, Xerox and Mamoru good, and Dash Retro is also pretty.
Yeah, I would say that any of those runners coming up, or any of the runners really left in the tournament, are going to be a major challenge. But
I'm getting in. It's going to be.
Yeah, of course. That's just kind of the nature of how tournament brackets work. But Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that one. I know you are too. Any other thoughts from anybody else before we close this up? I guess I'll take that as a no. Elder Sport,
I thought you were talking to chat.
No, I'm talking to you guys.
Go on ahead.
Yeah.
Nothing to say except for GG's to GTAce.
Yeah,
you did well.
GG's to both of you guys. We look forward to obviously seeing some more awesome races in this tournament. Not many of them left, but all the ones that are left should be pretty darn good ones. I think that's going to close it out for us. We have another race tonight at 8 p.m., which is a four-way race. Who is actually in that race, Elder Sport? Because I know you're commentating it.
So we have a massive doubleheader coming for you at 8 p.m. tonight. We have Kaku52 versus I Am Dangerous down in the second chance bracket, looking to move on ahead. I just had it in front of me. Let me put this back up. Looking to move on ahead to face ZZC. So, and the winner of that race goes on to Royalty. The second chance bracket is just heating right up. The other race that we have is going to be the second to last in our winners bracket that we have. We have Supersonic going up against LK431 for the right to go against Cosmic in the finals of the winners bracket. Both fantastic runners. LK's the 10 seed, Supersonic's the 3 seed. And that is going to be headed up by yours truly and Tecate. So we're going to have a lot of fun right back here, Speed Gaming 2, 8 p.m. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the schedule right now. We don't have anything set up, but with the GDQ hotfix and the GDQs behind us and everything, you're going to start seeing these races just flying in. Keep tuning in. Follow all 6 Speed Gaming channels. There's a lot more besides the Mario runs going on through here. I've seen some Link to the Past / Metroid randos, Link to the Past runs, all sorts of different things. As always, I'd like to thank all of our friends over at Speed Gaming for helping us put on this tournament. I'd like to thank all the administrators for the Super Mario Bros. Warpless tournament who worked tirelessly. And as always, I shout out Rupert for running this whole thing because Esmo, he works a thankless job putting this all together for us.
It's not that thankless. We're thanking him right now. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, big thanks to everybody at Speed Gaming. Big thanks to all the runners, all the admins, Rupert especially for putting this on. Thank you very much to everybody. And with that, for the Elder Spork and our 2 runners, GTAce and Mars02, I'm Esmo88 signing off. Look forward to seeing you guys tonight for another great race.
Have a great afternoon.
Hey, everybody.